Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching the video. Hello, dear students. It's your Yasser again. Today we have a new lesson. The water cycle still, we're in Unit 2, but today it's not going to be the practice book, it's going to be the language book. LB, page 19. So I want you all to open your language books, page 19. Now, some of you might be asking about page 18, which has the comprehension, the discussion, and the vocabulary. This page is your homework. I want you to do this page at home. It's easy, right? Just order the steps like they are already ordered here, and put the picture, the number of the pictures, just like we did in the practice book, and do the vocabulary sets. Write each set of words in alphabetical order, right? You know the alphabets, the A, B, C. You're too old for this. Let's move on to the language building, page 19. Phrases. A phrase is a group of words, if you're following me on the book, which form part of a sentence. These clouds look like cotton wool. Like cotton wool is a phrase. A phrase does not make sense on its own. So these are three things we ought to learn about the phrase. Okay? Phrases are a group of words. A group of words, not just one word. They don't make sense on their own. The phrases do not make sense on their own. Like, for example, like cotton wool. If someone said, like cotton wool, what is like cotton wool? You get to answer. You get to ask a question, right? So it doesn't make sense on its own. It has to be linked with a sentence. So it's also a part of a sentence. I want you to memorize this. This has to be memorized. Phrases, they are a group of words. They don't make sense on their own. What does make sense mean? Make sense, what does it mean? If something makes sense, it's logical to someone. People can understand it easily. If something makes sense to you, you understand it easily. So if they don't make sense on their own, that means you don't understand them easily, okay? A part of a sentence. They are a part of a sentence. They are not the whole sentence. They are a part of a sentence. And I just remembered, let's add one more thing to this. This is one more thing to be added. A phrase does not usually contain a verb. A phrase does not usually contain a verb, so we don't have a verb in a phrase. See, these clouds look like cotton wool. Like cotton wool is a phrase. It doesn't have a verb. So I want you to remember all these four things, rather memorize them if you could. They help you understand what is the phrase. So let's move on. Exercise 1. Complete the sentences. I wrote the phrases here. Choose a phrase from the box, right? So repeat after me. Back to the sea. Back to the sea. Water vapor. Water vapor. Droplets of liquid. Droplets of liquid. Big and heavy. Big and heavy. Cooler air. Cooler air. The clouds. The clouds. These phrases are all a group of words, right? You don't find one word here. They don't make sense on their own. Doesn't make sense. Big and heavy. What's big and heavy? Droplets of liquid. What's the droplets? What are the droplets of liquid? Cooler air. All right, where do we find the cooler air? And so on. You get to have questions about these if they are on their own, if they are separate, they don't make sense, and they are part of a sentence apparently, and they don't have a verb. You do not find a verb here. Okay, let's work. One, when water heats up, it turns into, so what do you think? When the water heats up, go back to the steps. It turns into, back to the sea, water vapor, droplets of liquid. Correct? Water vapor. When the water heats up, it turns into water vapor. Remember? It evaporates. Very good. Number two, as water vapor rises, it meets, we say it meets what? Excellent. It meets cooler air. When the water vapor rises, it meets cooler air. When water vapor cools, it turns back into droplets of liquid. Remember, we call this condensation. It condenses. When water vapor cools, it turns back into droplets of liquid. The wind moves. What does the wind move? Excellent. The clouds. The wind moves the clouds. When the droplets join together, they get very good, big and heavy. Remember, we see the clouds, they are big and heavy. So when the more the droplets join together, the more the clouds get big and heavy. Rain falls into rivers and lakes and flows. This is the only one we're left with, back to the sea. So when the rain falls into rivers, lakes, and flows back to the sea. This is what happens. This is the water cycle, remember? Now we did exercise 1. I don't want to spoil it to you, so exercise 2 is going to be your homework. Homework, exercise 2. Make up sentences using the phrases below. Now that we understood the phrases, I hope everyone understands the phrases, and now we have examples for the phrases. Now you need to make up sentences for the phrases. Repeat after me. Like cotton wool. Like cotton wool. Storm clouds. Storm clouds. Very wispy. Very wispy. Flat and gray. Flat and gray. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 phrases. These are going to be your homework. Okay? This was our lesson about phrases. I hope you enjoyed it. I really miss you. Stay safe, stay clean, do your homeworks, do your classworks. Don't make it like the previous corona pandemic wave. Let's make this time different. We want to make use of your time so you won't forget everything you've been taught, and so you can keep your academic level at a very good level. Okay? Thank you very much. Till we meet. Bye bye.